This is going to be a nice, fun, basic class. We're going to go over some strategies. Today's class is all about setting up both your YouTube channel and your Facebook business page correctly to be compliant with DRE regulations. We'll talk about some things. We'll demonstrate some things here to get you guys set up and going. And then if you're here for our second class this afternoon, we'll go over content strategy and consistency to begin to make your social media marketing videos more successful. Okay, so this is all about setting things up correctly. I've noticed a lot of agents with their Facebook business page not being DRE compliant, and DRE definitely is sending out fines for that. They're usually about $2,400 per violation per post. So if you're posting a couple of things on your Facebook business page, those 2 or 3 items, if they're not DRE compliant with your first point of contact, data, then all of a sudden you're looking at, what is it, $7,800 very easily in fines. So just be super careful. We're going to go over that. All right, so we're 4 minutes after the after 10:30, so let's get started. Real quickly, just a quick. Oh, good. I'm so glad that you started here too, Thomas. All right, just real quickly, a nice introduction of who I am. For those of you who don't know me or brand new here, my name's Anthony. I work here at Orange County Realtors. Been here now for close to 19 years. Started off in the MLS department. Guaranteed I'll speak to everybody attending today regarding rules, regulations, violations, all that fun stuff. What I'm also involved with is our outreach program. Our outreach program is designed to give you training on all your tools and products. So not only do I train on MLS, how to run searches, add and modify listings, create CMAs, things like that, but I also love training on zip forms. I am a zip form certified trainer. So I love showing agents how to put together their transactions electronically, digitally sign them, and of course, using all the tools and products within zip forms to better your transactional lives. And of course, I love training on tech. Love showing agents how they can utilize their technology tools like their phone devices, tablet devices, and other tools that CRMLS, CAR, and NAR do have to offer on top of everything else. So today's class, social media marketing, beginning. You're probably asking yourself, well, geez, Tony, why is social media so important? Well, let's go over some of that. So why Facebook? Well, crazy enough, Facebook is the largest social media network in the world, even though they just had a whistleblower talk about Facebook just a few days ago about their algorithms and all this other stuff. Crazy enough, as of 2020 of last year, more than 2.74 billion people worldwide belong to Facebook. This is why Facebook is such a giant technology monster out there in the world. It's because more than, most of the world population belongs and uses Facebook. More than 63% of Americans log in to Facebook each and every day. Now, if we were thinking about 2.74 billion people, if we were to make Facebook a country today, it'd be the largest country in the world. Now, as a matter of fact, when you think about school, we used to talk about China being the largest country in the world with over, I think it was what, 1.4, 1.5 billion people. Well, Facebook has many, has a billion more people on their platform than people that live in China. So this is a huge demographic for you guys as real estate agents or even as a company to talk to advertise to. 93% of the consumers actually go online before they list or buy a property, right? 62% of millennials, which are today's clients, actually said that they found their real estate agent on social media and went with that agent. Now, when they were asked why, they said that they felt that they actually got to know the agent personally because they actually became friends with them. They connected with them. There was talking and display and all this other stuff. And they made a social connection. This is why Facebook is so popular, right? It's not the same in our, at least in my generation. You have close, tight-knit friends of about 5 or 6 people. We're now talking about millions or thousands or hundreds of people that you can connect with all over the world because you have things that are in common. So this is why real estate agents really need to have a social media presence, especially for your real estate business, because of the amount of people that you can connect with. Now, real quickly, more facts about Facebook for realtors. 91% of realtors actually use social media, but not all of them use social media for advertising. Not all of them use social media for their business. I want to say it's about 60% of real estate agents do not use social media. Out of the 91% that do have some sort of personal page, about 60% do not use social media for their advertising. It's starting to grow more and more because of these numbers. Now, really, realistically, those agents that are using Facebook targeted ads, real estate targeted ads rank number 7 with an average click on or click through rate of 0.99%. So less than 1%. And you rank number 7. Number 1 is auto ads or automobile ads with 1.04% click-through rate. Now, if you think about that statistically, that's not very many or very much off. Now, what's really nice about the Facebook targeted ads is that the average cost to you as an agent is about $1.81 per click. Probably, if you think about that, $1.81 per click to create an ad, send it out, spend some money for an ad to run for a couple of weeks. Maybe you put a cap on your ad. On average, for people to click on that ad, it costs you about $1.81. Now, if we translate that to say, oh, I don't know, a postcard. How much does it cost you for you to get that postcard and then to mail it out? And then how many postcards do you have to send out each and every month or each and every week before you even see 1 or 2 clients? Maybe what, 100 postcards going out every month, on average, probably costs you about 85 cents per postcard to print. And it costs you another 60 or 65 cents to send it out. And then that's 1 month. But then on average, somebody getting an actual mailer to see 1 sale, it takes you about 1.5 years. So multiply, what is it, 18 months at 200 business cards at $1.60 per postcard. That all of a sudden adds up real quick. So it costs you more money to make a postcard and send it out for mail marketing than it does a Facebook targeted ad. Now, funny enough, 62% of marketers say that Facebook is the most important social media of all social media. Why? Because it's number 1 with 2.74 billion users. So they have a huge audience to talk to and connect with. 57% of Facebook consumers say that actual social media really influences their shopping. How many of you can sit here today and say that when you're on your Facebook and you're reading through your news feed and you see those ads come up on your news feed, that it hasn't prompted you in some fashion to either A, click on the ad to buy the item, or go to another platform like Amazon and purchase that item or an item like it? Probably most of us, right? Some sort of food, some sort of makeup or clothing or car or something. Well, hey, where's the real estate ads? Where's the property ads? You guys need to get those out there. Now, here's some mind-blowing facts about YouTube videos. Now, when it comes to YouTube, 2.4 billion people belong to YouTube. So Facebook, 2.74, YouTube, 2.4, China, 1.4. So YouTube is the second largest social media platform. 30 million visitors go onto YouTube each and every day. It's actually not only the second largest social media platform in the world, it's also the second largest search engine in the world compared to Google. And funny enough, Google owns Google Search and YouTube. So Google owns number 1 and number 2 search engines in the entire world. Now, when it comes to videos, 5 billion videos are watched every single day by 30 million people. Okay. More than 500 hours of video are uploaded every minute to every day. More than 1 billion hours of video are viewed on YouTube. Now, just those statistics alone, YouTube is now the new boob tube of the world. Now, anybody remember the term boob tube? And you can raise your hand real quick if you do. If you don't, boob tube back in my day was referred to the television, the TV set. Mom and dad used to set us in front of the TV, start watching our cartoons or Saturday morning cartoons. Mom and dad could sleep in, go out, do their errands, whatever, and we'd still be in front of the TV. Today, because of YouTube, it's YouTube now, right? We have access to all these videos. We have access to all this content, right? Watching shows and things like that. That's our new boob tube. Now, 70% of users watch videos. 70% of the YouTube users who watched a video said that it helped them make a purchase decision, right? There are tons of reviews out there. Somebody buys a product, they do a video on that review. They don't even have to be the product distributor. It's us, the consumers. Now, 80% of those YouTube users said that when they watched the video that helped them make that purchase decision, they said that they watched that video at the beginning of their shopping process. So what does this say to you guys? Means that consumers who are wanting to buy or sell or even rent properties are actually going online first before they go out to start renting a property or even purchasing a property or even going to list their home, because they're needing some guidance. They're looking for people to go with to help them sell that property, to help them buy that property, or to help them lease a property. Now, demographically, 7 out of 10 people prefer watching video online versus watching live TV. It's easy, it's convenient, it's with us 24/7. I don't have to come home, sit down in front of my TV with that amazing surround sound on my 80-inch high def 15K TV. I'm mostly out and about. Restaurants, standing in line at the bank, whatever. In an average month, 8 out of 10 18 to 49-year-olds watch YouTube. It's predicted by 2025, just a mere, 3 or 4 years away, more than half the users under the age of 32 will no longer subscribe to paid TV. Why is that? Money. How many of you still have DirecTV or Cox TV or what's the other one? Dish Network. A couple of you, right? Larry, what are you spending? Probably about on average $150 per month to get 500 channels that realistically you only watch 5 or 6, right? But let's think about this. And I will tell you, I stopped subscribing to DirecTV years ago when I started doing the math. So real quickly, I'm going to whip out my phone here and I'm just going to tell you some fun little numbers here that you may all of a sudden just realize. Going to my calculator, and you're right, Larry, it does suck because a lot of it is just garbage, right? But let's think about this. $150 a month times 12 months, that's $1,800 a year that you're spending on TV that you probably are only watching maybe a couple of hours of. And again, It's great to have 500 channels, but you're realistically probably only watching not even a third of those channels, probably maybe less than 1%. And if you're probably subscribing to some sort of live sports package, you're probably spending an extra $35 a month. So maybe you're now spending $185. So now you're spending $2,200 a month on your TV. Now, if we think about that, even over 5 years, that's $11,000 in 5 years just on TV alone. Even at $2,200 a month, what could you be spending that $2,200 a month on? Gunsmoke mostly. That's right, Larry. I like that show. That's a funny show. But think about that. $2,200 a month, or $2,200, yeah, $2,200 a month, or $2,200 a year. That's a lot of money. That could be a vacation for you guys, right? Or maybe you could take that money and can spend it on some other important marketing. But nowadays with kids, you know, our kids generation, right? The 18 to 32-year-olds who don't have a job, they don't have that money. And YouTube is free. So guess what they're not going to do? They're not going to subscribe to DirecTV. They're not going to subscribe to Cox TV or Dish Network or HBO or whatever, because they can get it all for free. Now, mobilely, more than 70% of YouTube views come from a mobile device, right? Now, with average time spent of 40 minutes per session, meaning a session is when I turn it on, swipe it on, go directly to YouTube, and I start watching, whether it's a couple of minutes video or a couple of hours. Usually on average, 40 minutes per session. Give you a perfect example. How many of you have been to a restaurant lately, right? And then right in that same restaurant, a couple of tables away from you, mom, dad, grandma, grandpa are sitting there, and all of a sudden they've got a couple of kids, and the kids start screaming, yelling, running around the table, acting like little wild things. And what did mom and dad do? They pull out the tablet device, they pull out the phone device, pop on their favorite show. Kids get really quiet real quick. As a matter of fact, mom and dad whip out their own phone devices and they start watching their own independent shows. And now nobody's talking at the table. They're just having a nice quiet meal there at the restaurant, and no one's saying a single thing. Kind of amazing. Anybody ever witnessed that? I sure do. Now, here's something that's really great. You may or may not be aware of this, but YouTube does pay people if they get a large following, right? You get a large amount of subscribers, you get people watching your videos, okay? YouTube is happy to pay you. They actually get revenue from the advertisers. I see more advertisements in between videos nowadays, or even in a training video on YouTube today, because advertisers are now paying YouTube. Funny enough, YouTube generates 2 times more revenue each and every year. In 2020 alone, YouTube generated $3.81 billion in revenue. Now, people getting paid by YouTube, it's kind of amazing too. The highest paid YouTuber in 2018, 2019 was an 8-year-old child earning $26 million from his YouTube videos. And you know what kind of videos he made? A review video. Something was bought, and now somehow he gets stuck in front of the camera, and now people get to see his reaction to the thing that was bought for him. 8 years old, earning $26 million. The second highest YouTube earner was a 5-year-old earning $20 million for the same type of videos. So now, real estate agents, you have to ask yourself, where's your cut? Or maybe those of you with kids or grandkids, maybe you start getting them to do review videos, right? But not that I expect you to ever get paid by YouTube, but just know that if kids are doing videos and parents are helping kids at the age of 8 and 5 doing videos, and they're getting $26 million, you guys deserve your cut of the pie. And all I'm asking you to do is do videos about properties or about the community, things that can help you generate extra business for your career. Any questions so far? Anybody astounded by that? I wish I was an 8-year-old kid again. I wouldn't want to go through my teenage years, but just know that, hey, there are people making money. You deserve a piece of that. Even just to help sell a property, an extra 2 or 3 properties a year. I know most of you would be ecstatic about that. Now, there are several ways that we can market on Facebook. I'm going to bring it back to Facebook here. Now, Facebook has 3 major tools, each with a purpose. Number 1, they have this thing called Pages, commonly known as the Facebook business page. Now, it's similar to your personal profile page, but it's strictly for your business. Okay. Now, what we're going to do today is that we're going to create a business page, but it's going to be through your personal page. And now there are going to be some advantages on that, but I will tell you that this is going to be really helpful. Now, this is what's nice about this is that as users begin to like your business page, it's going to send them automatic updates, news feeds, anything like that you post on that business page. So they don't even have to be a friend of yours. If they've liked your business page, they're going to automatically be notified anytime you post something to that business page. Now, there are the Facebook targeted ads. This is your targeting advertising platform. This is where you're going to be able to create targeted ads specific to geographical areas, ages, education levels, income levels, interest levels, things like that. Now, depending on your goal, this could be an expensive tool, okay, to use, but just know that at $1.81 per click, you can create an ad in about 20 to 30 minutes. Now, they also have a thing called groups. Now, what you can do is create a discussion group. Okay, it's got some additional features that pages and profiles have, like a wall, but it's a basic way of inviting people to have and share like ideas. What I like to tell people is think about a group as a party. You're inviting people to your party. Now, when you invite people to a party, not only can they talk amongst themselves, but you are the center of attention. You can generate conversation, or you can let conversations develop organically. But you invite these people to these groups, the people that have liked your business page, the people that are your friends, things like that. So created groups related to your industry is a way to reach out with potential clients. Maybe you develop a track or a group around the track or people that live in that track, and you invite them to come in. They can discuss things. What's happening in the neighborhood? What do they think about the gardeners? Hey, did they realize that one of their neighbors is moving and that you're the listing agent on that property? And maybe that one of them has a friend that wants to live closer to them so that they now can grow their community. Now, funny enough, out of these 3 tools, 2 of them are free. That is pages and groups. The only thing that you have to worry about spending money on are the targeted ads. And that's if you decide you want to use them. Now, How can you use YouTube for your marketing? Well, in YouTube, you're going to actually create yourself as an image of authority, right? Your business videos that you are going to do are going to contain your business views and ideas. You've got to start providing this sense of an aura of an expert and authority. Okay. Your business tips, your strategy videos will get attention because not every agent does things like this. And funny enough, when people want to buy, sell, or even lease properties, they don't know what they're doing a lot of times. So they don't know where to start. This is why they go to YouTube. How many of you have been to YouTube to learn how to do something like solder, jewelry, paint, work on a car, maybe put together a deck or a fire pit in your backyard? Well, guess what? Real estate's no different. People don't know what they need to do to get their home ready for sale. People don't know what to do to get themselves prepared to be a buyer. They just think, hey, I've got $15,000 in the bank. I can just go out and put a nice down payment, right? Isn't that easy? Even though my FICO score is 520. What's the importance of it? Just know that when you start putting out videos, giving helpful advice, having strategies, knowing your market, this is going to help build that credibility and trust. Now, by the way, in order to build that credibility and trust, you got to entice people with more than just a sales pitch. We don't want to sound like the used car salesman or that person that when we walk into, say, like a Macy's or Nordstrom's, how many times does a salesperson come up to you and say, hi, how you doing, Larry? Is there anything I can do to help you today? And what's your first response? Nope, that's okay. I'm just looking, right? If they first came up to you and said, hey, how you doing? Welcome to the store today. Did you know this was on sale or that's on sale? Is there anything that I can help you with in finding something? Right? They're not just out there just trying to sell you. They're trying to help you. Would that entice you more to work with that person or that sales clerk? Of course. Well, think about video the same way, right? Your social media online presence. You got to entice those people or these possible clients, consumers with more than just the sales pitch. You got to build that rapport and trust with consumers. Don't be afraid to show your relationships and your willingness to build that trust. You got to give them a reason to evaluate your services and your credibility. Show that customer engagement. Create client testimonial videos. Ask your clients the day that they close escrow, if you don't mind, would you like to, I would love to record you and just tell me what you thought about my services, because I like to use you in my marketing. And then sit back and let them talk. Client testimonial videos are going to be the most powerful videos out there, because it's not just you saying it. It's not people reading it, because a lot of people don't like to read because that's an old form of engagement. But people actually get to see and hear your client's reactions. They actually hear what honesty is coming out of that client about what they actually thought about you and their satisfaction with you. This is going to have so much more impact than any written word, than any written review, and will help build that trusting relationship. And usually those client testimonials, that client that likes you will probably say something that you did unique for them that maybe would not have been written down in a written review. Now, again, this is more engaging than the older forms of media, right? Because people love enjoying watching videos. We demonstrated that earlier with just the statistics. But what's also cool is that people will leave feedback. They'll tell you if they like it or dislike it. They may not agree with your opinion or what you see in the market. I will tell you that if somebody writes something down, they write down a comment, don't be afraid to write a comment back. As a matter of fact, it's really important that you write comments back. Why? Because it shows your willingness to be engaging as well as obtainable. If the agents, and one thing that a lot of agents make a mistake on is that they'll put out a video and they'll get 15, 20 comments. And some of those comments, more than half, will probably be questions. But if the agent never answers those questions, number one, doesn't help them or shows that the agent isn't paying attention to people paying attention to them, right? Now all of a sudden you're ignoring people. But number two, it shows that you're not able to be obtained. How many of you have received phone calls from people? And if you never return the phone call, say in a couple of hours, when you go to give them a call back, they never pick up. Why? Because it shows that you aren't, you weren't there for them in their time of need. So now why should they be there for you at this point? Video and comments to videos and comments to social media are the same thing. We have to show engagement. All right. Are there any questions on any of this stuff? Again, feel free to write in the chat. By the way, we are recording today's video. Everybody will get a copy of today's video in class. And if you want, we can also get you today's presentation. No questions? All right, well then let's get started. Let's first start creating a Facebook business page. Now at this point, I'm going to step away from the presentation and I'm just going to pop onto my Facebook. Now, I always encourage people to create a Facebook business page from their personal page. Now, why is that? A couple of nice things here. When I have my Facebook personal page, even though, yes, I do have friends that are friends and family and things like that, and that our postings can be a little private from time to time, just remember that social media is all about getting to know other people and building a relationship. Okay. Now, there's nothing wrong with going into facebook.com and creating a Facebook business page directly from there and keeping your business separate from your personal. There's nothing wrong with that. But I will tell you that there are tools that you will not be able to access if you create the pages separate from each other. And let's see here. Larry goes, I'm thinking about another social media platform, UTwit Face. Would you join it? I've never heard of UTwit Face. That sounds like a very interesting social media platform, Larry. But I would say that if not many people have heard of it, you're not going to have that big of an audience. So, I mean, there's nothing wrong with joining numerous social media platforms, but I would say ignoring the largest one may be a disadvantage. Oh, it was a joke. Oh, gotcha, Larry. Sorry. See, when you get me in teaching mode, it's, and not hearing people, it's hard to see when they're joking or not. But here, the reason why I like starting or making sure that be in your personal page and create your business page from your personal is that honestly, realistically, a part of you is business. So why not have the two linked together? Because what you're going to do, and one of the things that we'll talk about here in a minute, is that after your business page gets published, as people begin to like you through the business page, you can request those likes to be friends. Now, I know a lot of people get really sketchy going or start pulling back going, well, geez, Tony, I really don't want people who are my, business associates or people that I meet in business to be my friends and see what my friends and family are saying. You know what? There's nothing wrong with that, because what we can do is we can organize those friends list or that friends category and put people into what they call lists so that certain lists do not see what you're posting to everybody. So you can still keep people in a business realm, but you're now inviting people to see who you are. And that's what social media is all about, right? This is why we go to social media. This is why social media is so important, is because people need to feel a connection. Like interests need to connect worldwide. That's why Facebook is so popular, right? So yes, you're a business person, but you're more than that. So this is an opportunity to invite people who you're meeting, consumers, clients, to be friends, to get to know you, to strengthen those bonds. Now, how we need to create a business page is very simple. Now, funny enough, Facebook keeps switching this icon on me. So now what they've done is they've taken away the plus icon that was here last month, and they've now separated it to a section called pages. So if you're in Facebook, you see your news feed here in the middle. You probably see some boosted posts along with current contacts or friends that are currently online. But you're going to notice over here to the left-hand side, several icons. One of these icons is called pages. And excuse me a second, my dog is barking, so I'm going to make sure my door is closed. My wife just came home, that's why. So what we're going to do, we're going to come over here to the left-hand side, and we're going to click on this section that's called pages. Now, when we click on pages, this will display all of our current created pages that we have. Now, if you've never created a Facebook business page before, not a problem. Just simply come over here to the left, and if you can't see it, I'm going to zoom in. Whoops. I'm going to come over here to the left and click on where it says create new page. Now, when I click on create new page, over here to the left, I'm going to now name the page. Now, before we name the page, you may or may not be aware that DRE has certain regulations for real estate agents and realtors that they have to display certain information on all first point of contact material. Now, when we think about that in the past, some people used to just think, well, geez, I just need to have my first point of contact on my business cards, a newspaper advertisement, and maybe my for sale sign, correct? Well, nowadays with technology, that is expanded out because of your reach to consumers, that you have to have certain identifiers up front, first and foremost, not only on your page, but on any post that you put to your wall on your business page. So this is where we need to make sure that we are in compliance with those things. Now, if you're not sure about what your compliance regulations are, real quickly, if you go to dre.ca.gov, okay, so dre.ca.gov, this is the Department of Real Estate's website. Now, most of us have already been here in order to tie our license to our broker, okay? But what we're also going to do, because there's other information here at the DREU website that we need to be aware of, not only our e-licensing, getting our license and updating our license whenever we do our license renewals and stuff like that, but they also have other things that we need to be aware of when it comes to advertising. Now, how do we find that? How we find that information is very simply come over here to the top right of the page where it says search, click in the box and type in advertising rules or advertising regulations. Now from here, we're going to see lots and lots of fun little articles that DRE has posted about real estate advertising guidelines. Now, when we click on this, in this case, we see the new advertising rules as of August of 2020, last year. And when we click on that, a nice little page opened up, and here we have a nice, beautiful PDF document. Now, as we go through this document, this is going to tell us all the ins and outs of the DRE regulations regarding advertising. Now, what we're going to come down to below are some of the basic requirements. Now, I know a lot of us go, oh my gosh, that's a lot to read, this, that, and the other. We're not going to worry about this here. Oh, by the way, we got font size on printed material that we need to make sure. I think they've now increased it to 12-point font rather than 9-point font. So they've now regulated that it now needs to be bigger. Okay, but if we scroll down just a little bit further, we're going to see here that under the compliant team name examples, we're going to see here that we've got the team name, we've got the agents or the responsible agent that's part of the team, and of course their DRE license number, and of course their full-on company name as found on the DRE. So it basically says it needs to include your surname of the team. If you have a team name, it includes the required group, team name, and or associates, includes the license number of the team member, and of course, it includes the responsible broker's name. Okay. So this is required on all first point of contact. Now, if we scroll up a little bit here, I do believe it tells us, let's see, those are escrow services. Sorry. Where that license number and first point of contact material is: business cards, stationery, websites owned, controlled, or maintained by the soliciting listing agent, promotional advertising, flyers, postal mail, leaflets, advertising and electronic media, so including but without limitations to the internet, email, radio, cinema, so on and so forth. This also includes social media, because that is considered a website or electronic platform. So this is where I'm going to help you at least meet 2 of your 3 requirements. In creating your Facebook business page, under the page name, you're going to make sure that you type in your name, your legal name, what's on your DRA license. Now, some of you may have a nickname. That's okay. You can include your nickname as well. Just simply put in parentheses. Okay. Now, what you're also going to do, comma, Realtor, space, number symbol, and then your DRA license number. This is how you should create your Facebook business page. Now, if you are part of a group or you run a group, so like maybe Loanne Lee has the Lee group that she's in charge of. Then, per DRE, the Lee group, right? Number symbol. There you go. Or maybe Leanne Lee, let's see, officer. Something like that. She's the officer of the Lee group. So even though she works for Jack and Jill Real Estate or 123 Real Estate or Realty One or ABC Realty or whatever, she runs her own group. Her group of buying agents and listing agents. But no matter what, we've now met the DRE, 2 of the 3 DRE requirements. So, keeping it simple, Anthony Breed, comma, Realtor, DRE license number. Can we use team word instead of group? Yes, Kate, you can. So the appropriate words that you can use per DRE, group or team. What you can't say is real estate, because that would indicate that you're a broker. And if you do not have a broker's license, then you could get in trouble for that. Do we have a group? Do you have a group? Larry, no, I'm not a licensed real estate agent, but my wife is, and she has the name of her group. So she has a team of agents. So, oh, you're welcome, Kate. But that's basically what you want to do. Okay. Now, obviously your category, real estate. Okay. Now under the description, describe your business page. Now here you're only limited to 255 characters. So you got to get super creative of what this page is all about. Is having a group necessary? No, Larry, not at all. Not at all. So what you would do, Larry, in your case would be you would name your business page Larry Junkins, comma, realtor, and then your DRE license number. The reason why you name it this way is that anytime you create a post on your business page, the title of the business page is always at the top of the post. So anytime you make a post, DRE says that your name or all your first point of contact requirements are required on every post. So right away, the title of your post will always be your name with your DRE license number. Now, how do you fit in your company name at that point? Well, when you create the post, you now put in the beginning of the post, the company name, Jack and Jill Real Estate, space, dash, space, and then write what the post is. That way you've met when that post goes out, whether you're boosting it or maybe you create a targeted ad, that post or that targeted ad now has all 3 points of mandatory first point of contact requirement. Does that make sense? If I were to put in the name of my company on my business page, that would mean that I should be the broker of that company. And if I'm not, I'm now breaking DRE regulations, code of ethics violations, the whole 9 yards. Any questions on this so far? Now, when I write my description, be creative. Try to stay away from the boring things that every real estate agent seems to do when it comes to typing in a profile about themselves, right? Like, I love selling and buying, or I love working with, there we go, sellers and buyers. I work in and around OC, LA, and San Bernardino counties. Make this stand out a little bit more. Make it a little bit more personal. Okay. I know most of us have all seen this on almost every real estate agent's website, social media post, or their business page or whatever, right? What makes you stand out from anyone else? Maybe you say something unique. For 40 years. So if you are looking to buy, sell, or lease, I can help you because I've seen it all. If you love surfing or food, ask me, go, and I'll tell you the best places to go and live here. Something like that. So basically what you're going to do is you're going to basically personalize it. So if somebody looks at my business page, they can immediately, hopefully, remember something unique about me. Now, Kate goes, I'm a realtor and work with my husband, and he is not yet a realtor. Our team name is me and him. Can I add a lender title names as part of our team? Well, number one, if your husband's not a real estate agent just yet, he may not be a good fit, but I would say let him have his own business page, because, and there's nothing wrong with that. Jane and Helen, or Kate and Bob real estate group, there's nothing wrong with that. But it should have your last name as part of the group name. Can you add your lender and title names? Sure, but I think those are separate businesses that you may want to promote differently than your real estate name, because you're going to be advertising and talking to different people in different ways. Doesn't mean that you can't mix them in the groups or in the conversations and in the postings, but I would say keep them out there. That way you can hit a little bit of a larger audience. Now, I know for a fact that if you do have an NMLS number, then you have to reference both as a real estate agent. So not only your DRE license number, but then you may need to add NMLS and then that number as well. But just know that this starts getting longer and longer and longer, to which at that point, when you go create a post, it starts cutting off characters. So you want it short, sweet, simple. Does that make sense, Kate? Excellent. Awesome. Now, once you guys create the business page at this point, and let me see here, the next steps. Under more, and if I can get to that, that would be great. And of course, there should be a create choice here, but what should happen at this point is that when you hit create, then all of a sudden you're going to be asked to do several other things. Now, before you hit create, it's going to ask you, do you want to publish? Don't publish it yet, because you're going to get only one shot to do this. Now, real quickly, back to this. You need to set up your page settings. There's a couple of things you want to set up under your page settings. Okay. Now, under your page settings, over here to the left-hand side, we're going to come down below and we're going to update some settings real quick. Now, before we make this page published, because it'll say unpublished here, okay, there's a couple of things that you want to set up first and foremost on how your page functionality will be. Number one, profanity filter. The last thing you as an agent want is people writing profanity, especially maybe in response to a post. Now, there's a thing called trollers. Trollers are people out there that love to start stuff. They love being argumentative. They love writing really nasty things about people or subject matter that you're writing. Okay. And those people just love trying to create arguments. Now, one of the things that they love doing is writing obscene posts or posting obscene posts on people's walls. So what you want to do is that you want to come down below under your page settings, and in your list of choices here, you want to go to where it says profanity filter, and you want to select it or turn it on. Okay. That means that if somebody were, not even you can write curse words on your posts. So you want to keep it at that level of professionalism. Okay. The next that you want to turn on is the translate automatically. Now, the translate automatically basically says that other people may have their settings on their Facebook and their computer devices to display information in their language: Hebrew, German, Tagalog, Japanese, Chinese, whatever. What you want to do is that you want your page to be seen by those people in their native language. So if they have their computer converted to be able to read things in their language, you want to turn on this feature so that when they find your page, or if they find your page, they will see everything that you're posting in the language that they're able to see and read, that they've set their computers to. So you want to make sure that you go to translate automatically and select that choice to turn it on. Okay. Now, another thing here that you can also do is allow people to tag you in photos and videos. I would turn that off. Make sure that that is unselected. Reason why is that the last thing or what you need to be able to do is be able to control and see what people are tagging you in. Okay. If you allow people to tag you in things, maybe you're there having dinner with a spouse, a friend, a significant other, whatever, and somebody takes a random picture of you. If they go, oh, you're on Facebook, I'm going to tag you, and maybe it's a private moment. Now, all of a sudden, everybody on Facebook sees that private moment. What you are doing now is you're not allowing anybody to tag you in inappropriate or unapproved formats. So make sure that you take that tagging ability and deselect it. It's turned off. Okay. Now, another thing over here, back to the left under the page settings. Instagram. Some of you have Instagram. Instagram, third largest social media platform in the world. Okay. Funny enough, Facebook owns Instagram. If you have an Instagram account, guess what? Facebook and Instagram Facebook owns Instagram. So they've given you the capability here under your Facebook business page to link or connect your Instagram account with your Facebook business page. That means any photo or video that you post to your Facebook business page, you can also share to your Instagram account, or vice versa. Any image that you post on Instagram, you can then connect or share on your Facebook business page account. You want these connected because now this helps you cross connect or cross post on these multiple platforms. Okay. Let's see here. Now, once you've linked everything, you've set up some of your page settings. You can even put in your branded content. And what I mean by branded content here, you can start setting up this content as apply as a creator, things like that. This is where you can start monetizing your Facebook account. So anybody reposting your posts and those get seen after so many views, so many hits, so many likes, all of a sudden you start getting paid by Facebook. Now, this is a little bit more detailed, but I wouldn't even worry about this just yet, but just really worry about under the settings to get back, or under your settings here, the page setup. Now, once you're done with that, whoops, I guess I clicked on it again by mistake. Under the general information, under the page roles. Oh, by the way, page roles are great for your team members. What you can now do is assign team members to be allowed to post to your wall. So Kate, you and your husband, so your husband has a Facebook page. What you can now do is add him as an editor to be able to post things to your Facebook business page to help promote whatever business or material. If you have an assistant, this would be a good place where you can do that as well. You can assign them as an editor, a moderator, an advertiser, an analyst. I would not recommend adding them as an admin. If you give them an admin rights, this now all of a sudden takes away the capability of removing that person if you happen to fire them. And then they can start putting things there without your control. At least as an editor, you have some control whether you want that post there or not. You can take it down or keep it up. Okay. But this is great if you have a team. Now, once you're done with that, then you can come over here to the top where it's back to your general settings under page visibility and make the page from unpublished and switch it to published. Once you now do that, now your Facebook business page can be searched, found, and of course, request likes. And you can start doing a bunch of other fun stuff. Now, the power of the like, for those of you that don't know this, there we go. Because you only get one shot to do this, really, okay? You can now send out like requests. Typically, like requests are sent to friends first. Anybody who's a friend, any and all people, the system will ask you, would you like the people that you're already friends with to like your business page? You want to send it out to all your friends, okay? Now, what happens here is that once you get so many likes, then this is going to open up other extra tools in your Facebook business page. So usually friends can really quickly get you 25 likes right out of the gate. Okay, which now opens up extra tools on your Facebook business page for you to do, like scheduling events, posting to your wall, doing extra things like that, like boosted posts, things like this. Now, the power of the like is this. When someone likes your business page, okay, then anytime you post anything to your business page wall, not only does that person who liked your page is notified, but that person also has friends as well. So that means that they see a post or as well, and each of those friends will also see that post, and those friends will also see a post that you post. So they don't even have to have liked your business page by the second or third tier. And this is what I mean. Oops. If you had, say, 500 people that liked your business page, but each of those 500 people have 500 friends, and each of those 500 people have another 500. When you do one post, you now potentially have 175,000 people see that post automatically. So it's not just who you know or who's liked you, but it's also who they know and who they know and who they know. And those second, third, and fourth tiers haven't even liked you yet, but they are now aware of your posts, which now entices them to maybe come to you and like you. So now all of a sudden, when you post something to your business page, you are organically hitting about 175,000 people if you have at least 500 likes. Now, granted, that can't happen overnight, but in some cases, some of you who have been on Facebook for a very long time probably have about 200 or 300 friends. And if all of 200 or 300 friends like your business page, because you've got the personal and the business now connected, that right there is close to 100,000 people that will be notified anytime you post something to your business page. And by the way, this is all free. We haven't spent any money, and nor should you need to spend any money necessarily. Now, at that point, you've got to develop some sort of content strategy, right? Now, your content strategy consists of 1, 2, 3, 4 parts. Number one, you got to dedicate some time. You got to operate under some sort of code of conduct, meaning what you will and will not tolerate, right? And of course, track and adjust that content that you're posting and that conduct accordingly, and then stick with it. Now, by the way, oops, I didn't mean to get out of that. Let's go back to my Facebook business page. Now, one really cool thing about this is that, a couple of things I forgot here in your setup. Yes, we did the settings when we set up the business page, but two things that we forgot here: your image. Number one, your profile image. You'll notice here that next to the title, I've got my personal image. Don't be afraid to have a picture of yourself. Okay. Always have a picture of yourself. You want people to recognize you. Number two, in the background, do not put up a generic background of some property, right? I know you want people to associate you with real estate, but guess what? When they see a picture of a home, number one, do you have the rights to use that photo that may or may not be of a home that you're listing? What you want to do here in that background image is upload an image of your business card. Now, why is that? Well, yes, under my about section, right, my profile information, things like that on my business page, I have got everything about me, right? My phone number, my email address, the about section, where I'm located, things like that I want people to see. But who's going to scroll down here right at a glance? In that background image, this is where I want my business card. So scan your business card as a picture. Why? Because your business card is going to have all the first point of contact data required. It's going to have my phone number, my email address, my DRA license number, my company logo, my company name, and of course, my own personal logo, if I happen to have one. If not, not a big deal. The company logo, ABC Realty's logo, 123 Real Estate logo, Jack and Jill logo, Realty One's logo, whatever. That's all already on my business card. Scan it, upload it here. That's going to be my background image for all of my social media platforms. Because anybody coming to my page or finding my business page will immediately see the immediate identifiers. Not only under the business page name, but also as the background image. Does that make sense for everybody? Good. Excellent, Larry. Now here, as people begin to like me, I'm going to be able to see information here under the insights. So I'll see here that in the past 28 days, I've reached about 2 people from my postings, how many likes I've gotten. Now, what's cool about this is that when I go to the likes section, I get to see my, some demographic information here, but I'll also see who has liked my business page. Now, when you see who has liked your business page, this is where you don't want to miss out on this opportunity. Request them to be friends. Now, I know I said in the beginning, some people don't want people to be friends on their personal page because they want to keep their business lives and their personal lives separate. But in actuality, this is who you are. You are both business and personal. And again, 62% of millennials who went with a real estate agent because they found them on social media felt that they got to know the person personally. They want to get to know you beyond what is business. So this is a great opportunity to request them to be friends. Now, when we do request them to be friends, because I get it, on my personal page, not every post I post is related to all my friends, right? Because not every friend is a family member, not every friend is a client, not every friend is a seller, and not every friend is a buyer or a tenant. This is now going to require me to put my friends into what they call groups or lists. Actually, it's called lists. Now, how do I do this? Back on the home screen on my personal page, what I'm now going to do is I'm going to scroll down, and that near the bottom, there is a choice called lists, I do believe. And let me see if I can find it, unless they recently changed it. Friends, watched, events, ads, jobs, recent ad activity. It was just here the other day. Those are groups. Sorry, I'm just trying to find it here. Let me make sure. I see Oculus. They did have lists. Friends, events, lives. Well, let's go and look at our friends. Here we go. So when we go into the friends, not only do we get to see how many people are requesting to friend us, but over here to the left, we are going to come over to where it says custom lists over here to the left. Under custom lists, because I love the fact that Facebook keeps hiding this, what we now do is we get to view all the lists that we've created. In this case, what we're going to now do under custom list is click on create a list. And now you're going to name it. I would suggest naming one for client, naming one as clients, naming one as buyers, one as sellers, one as leases, one as landlords, one as lenders, one as real estate agents, whatever. Make lists. Now, what I am then going to need to do is back under my personal page, go under my friends, and now I need to put people into those lists. Now, how I put people into those lists, I very simply go to where it says friends under my account. I find my friend. I'm going to click on the three dots here, and now I'm going to edit my friends list. Under edit my friends list, I'm now going to add them to a list. Now, what's super cool about this is I can add them to multiple lists. So in a way, what I'm now doing is I'm taking Facebook and the people that I'm friending, and I am now categorizing them into appropriate lists. Now, what's super cool about this is that after I do that, now when I go and write a post on my wall, I can now direct it to a particular list. So here I can add a post, but then I can say, instead of it having go to all my friends, maybe this post needs to be directed to a specific list, like my client list or my real estate list, or something that we need them to only see. So now when I write this post, anybody in my buyer list will only see this post, not my family, not my friends, or not all my friends, but only those people that I've put into those buyer list or my seller list or my client lists. So now what am I doing here? I'm now using my Facebook personal page as my content strategy postings. And even I can control what it is that I see on my news feed to only display those lists. So I can say display only those people in my clients list newsfeed. Now everything else gets excluded out. And now I can quickly and easily go through and respond or like or dislike those people in the clients list posts. Does that make sense for people? Are there any questions on this? Now, I know I've talked about Facebook to ad nauseum, but are there any questions here? Eugene, you had a question? I have an app to go to. Excellent. That's good, Larry. I'd still recommend, liking your, requesting the likes to be friends and then categorize them here in your personal page. That way you can control from your personal page what people see. And maybe you just, yes, they're maybe a friend, but now you uncheck the friend part and just keep them as a buyer. So now when you post something to your friends that might be personal, then unless they're in that friend list, they're not going to see it, which I kind of like. Earlier, I created a business page. Personally, I don't like it because it's too messy to me. What do you mean by it's too messy, Caitlin? Now, remember, you're seeing a lot more things here because this is your business page. Anybody coming to your business page will not see any of this. They'll only see what you're posting. The things here like creating an ad, this is where we can go and maybe do a special ad advertisement for a listing or an event that we're hosting, maybe a garage. A boosted post is great because we can boost the views to get people to come to our business page a little bit more. I like these tools just because it helps in advertising your business. Okay. Other things here that I also like are the scheduled events. So here you can actually schedule an event. And what I mean by that is, let's create a new event. Well, maybe my new event will be online and it'll be a class that's going to be for free, but maybe in this case, it's going to be an open house. So I'm going to advertise to people on my Facebook business page, the open house, so that all the likes will know that I'm doing a Facebook Live or a video from this property at this date at time. And a lot of people will tell me if they're interested in looking at it or attending it. They don't have to come physically, but they can now watch it virtually, which is kind of cool. So you've got a lot of really neat things that you can do here. So over here, we got what we're doing, like open house, 123 Main Street, Irvine, California. The start date, Saturday from 1 p.m. Right? And I type in the address here of the property. I describe it. And then, of course, categorize it. Now people will be aware of when I'm holding my open house. And this is good too, because I can now copy that link and put it in the MLS under the private remarks or the open house virtual section for the virtual open house for either broker or public that we can do. I don't know how I can make it cleaner or better to see. Unfortunately, I don't know of a way to make it any cleaner for you. Usually all these tools are right here, ready for you to promote your advertising. Typically, you could just stick with just creating a post if you want, but these are other available tools to help promote events or things that or services that you offer. Does that make sense? All right. I bored you enough with, things to avoid, by the way, the profile fail. You don't fill out the rest of your profile before you publish it. That could be a big failure to your business page. So make sure that you fill out everything before you publish it. Make sure your photos, your background image is all up to date. Lack of consistency or content. You got to be consistent. Algorithmically, Facebook wants to see not the amount of time that you spend on Facebook, but how often you go to it. On average, you should go at least 3 times a day, but you don't have to spend hours upon hours being on Facebook. Minutes, about 15 to 20 minutes a day. 5 minutes in the morning, maybe 5 to 10 minutes in the afternoon, and then maybe 5 to 10 minutes in the evening. Okay. Posting listings only. If you only post listings, doesn't generate a lot of interest, post other things. Remember, you're a real estate agent. You have experience. Write about what it is that you're hearing about in your business. Write about your experiences. Write about your knowledge, right? Instruct people. What is it going to take to sell your home? What is it going to take to buy a property? What is it going to take? What do you need to do to prepare yourself? Write those things, because you now become an educator. Lack of the interaction. Basically, if somebody comments, if you never comment back or like it or dislike it or answer the question, people feel that they're left and ignored. Okay. And of course, stop being selfish. It's okay to friend other agents and then reshare their posts. It shows that you're trying to work together as a community to buy and sell properties for the community. So reshare it. It's okay, right? Maybe one of your clients comes to you and says, I love that property. I'd love to buy that home. Now, all of a sudden, you can connect up with the agent who's your friend to work together to sell that property for their seller. All right, let's not forget about YouTube. I know I talked about almost an hour and a half on Facebook, but YouTube is no different, right? Setting up YouTube, super simple. You got 2 ways of doing this. You can go to youtube.com, where the mouse, move your mouse to where it says sign in, click. And then of course, if you don't have a Gmail account, it's going to prompt you to create a Gmail account. Now, real quickly, how many of you have Gmail already? I see Eugene's hand raise up immediately. Most everybody, right? Guess what? YouTube or Google owns Gmail. Google also owns YouTube. So right away, just having a Gmail account automatically gives you a YouTube channel. So you don't have to do too much. Now, how do we access this? Back here. Whenever, I love using Google Chrome just because it's so super easy. I go to Google Chrome, I can be logged in or stay logged into my Gmail account. Now, what's nice about that is this. Here, when I go to Google, or I open up my Gmail, or I'm sorry, I open up my Google Chrome and I'm already logged into my Google, we're going to immediately see that we have access to Gmail. How do I know that? I see my picture over here at the top left corner. Now, that means that I'm currently logged in. Now, you'll notice here just to the left of my image, there are these 9 little funky little dots. Now, what's super neat about this is that when I click on these 9 little dots, I get a nice little window that opens up, and it now displays all of the free Gmail/Google tools at my disposal. I have access to a Google search, Google Maps, Google Play, Google's News, Google Meet, Google Drive. Come down below, I have access to Google Docs, which is basically Word, Google Sheets, which is Excel, and of course, Google Slides, which is very similar to PowerPoint. So I got access to all these free tools. Now you'll notice here that one of our free tools says YouTube. When I click on YouTube, I'm now going to be immediately taken to YouTube's website, where I am now able to be displayed all the possible videos, or all the videos that I can watch at my disposal, or videos that I have watched or genres that I've watched or could watch based on my likes, dislikes, this, that, and the other. Now, how do I access my created free channel from my Gmail account? Well, back over here to the top right corner, you're going to notice my image, or in this case, maybe your initials. When I click on my initials or my image, a drop-down list appears, and I'm going to see a choice here that says your channel. When I click on your channel, I am now going to be taken to my channel. So if anybody were to do a Google search on me or a YouTube search on me, it would have my channel name with what videos I've created. I'm going to see a background image that I might have uploaded and my profile image if I've uploaded it. But if I haven't uploaded one yet, it's going to have a generic background image, probably none. It's going to have just my initials here based on my logins. So now what do I need to do? I need to set up my channel. How I set up my channel, very easy. I'm going to come over here. Based on my channel, I'm going to go and click on where it says Customize Channel. When I click on Customize Channel, my channel opens up. And here under the channel customizations, I can change the layout, but the two sections I'm going to modify here is this, the branding. Under the branding, I can upload a personal image of myself. So again, your profile image of your face, okay? Or standing there, right? Click on change and then upload the image. So browse your computer for the image, select it, upload it, readjust it. Next, the banner image. Now, like our Facebook business page, the banner that I told you that you should upload in that background image is your business card, right? Well, if you've got the business card here, guess what? You're also going to have as part of your background image, the image of the business card. What this shows is consistency. Now, unlike your Facebook business page, in Google or Gmail, you are very limited on what you can name your personal channel. Basically, it's going to have just your name. Now, when it comes to creating your videos are going to have all your first point of contact information on it, but so is your channel. We're going to notice here that that background image, whether it's on a mobile device or tablet device or a laptop or a computer device, that banner is going to be stretched right across the top of your channel. So it's an immediate identifier of who you are, what your DRE license is, and of course, what company you're currently associated with. So your channel is now branded as a real estate channel. Okay. Now, you can also, for those of you who are with a group or manage a group, if you're creating videos, you also want to copyright your videos that you're making, right? Whether it's an introductory video of who you are, of a property or what have you. Yes, you're going to have your company information as maybe the starting slide, the ending slide, or your first point of contact information as your opening slide or your ending slide of data, which we'll talk about in class 2. But you also might have your own personal logo. Because maybe I leave Jack and Jill Real Estate to go to 123 Real Estate. I'm going to be able to change my banner image for my company, but my personal image and my personal logos, I'm not going to ever change. So whatever video I make, I'm always going to have branded with my personal logo. I'm going to have my videos watermarked for everyone. Now, there are some people that will watermark the video through a video editor. There's nothing wrong with that, but some of us aren't that sophisticated when it comes to making videos. So what I am instead going to do is I'm going to upload an image that image will be on every video I make. So even if I do a video live on YouTube or I upload a video personally, my watermark on my videos will always brand my videos. So if somebody were to use my video for something else, it's going to have my copyright on my own video. Does that make sense? All you need to do, click on change, browse your computer for that image. And now you can say, does that image appear at the end of the video, at the start of the video, or in this case, I want it through the entire length of the video. Now, any information I change here, you're going to hit publish or save. Now, before we do that, we're going to go to our basic information tab here. And again, we're going to write a description of our channel. What's the purpose of this video channel? Well, I'm a real estate technology trainer, or in your case, I'm a real estate agent. And again, you've got, instead of 255 characters like Facebook business page, you've got 1,000 characters to describe yourself. You'll also notice here that you have your channel URL. Now, why is this important? Well, how many of you have your own personal website or a Zillow Premier channel or a Realtor.com section? All of those want you to connect all of your social media platforms, right? Where it's displayed. You can find Tony on YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn. Well, that requires access to your channel. So you can now copy and paste this link onto those other platforms so that people can be redirected to my channel or my Facebook page or my personal website. I can also have my other contact information here, like my email address. And I can even add in other links like my personal website as part of my channel. Now, after I update the basic information, there are some other things that I want to modify under our settings. So under our settings over here towards the left, all the way down, under the channel itself, how I need my channel to be found. Think of this like Google AdWords, except this is all for free. Under our channel, under basic information, click in this big box that says keywords and type in things that people may type either under a Google search or a YouTube search in order to pull up your channel, like California, real estate, realtor, Orange County, LA County, San Bernardino County, Riverside County, Sacramento, whatever. Also, type in your name. If somebody were to look you up today, how would they try to find you? Under a Google search, they'd probably type in your name. Now, real quickly, or your group name, right? And then hit tab. Now, by any chance, does anybody have a situation where somebody always mispronounces or misspells your name constantly? And again, you can raise your hand for that one. CP, Kate, anybody to a degree, right? Thomas, do they forget to put in the H on your first name? Maybe they put in Penne instead of Penna, right? Yep, P-E, 2 E's in your name instead of 1. Yep, well, guess what? When anybody does a Google search, they're probably misspelling it as they mispronounce it, right? Well, guess what? They're going to do that for your YouTube channel too. So here under your keyword search, put in all the misspellings of your name. Like my name is spelled B-R-I, E as in elephant, D as in David, right? B-R-I-E-D. But I can't tell you how many times people pronounce it as bride, Breeden, Broden, Brard. I don't know how you get Bard out of, B-A-R-D from B-R-I-E-D, right? So this is a great opportunity to put in all the misspellings of your name. That way, Even if somebody were to misspell your name, your channel, even in a Google search, is going to be referenced. Now, once you do that, under the put in all that information, save it. How you want your channel to be found. Now, under the advanced settings here, next to basic information under your channel, what type of videos do you upload? Is it child-friendly content or over the age of 18 content? Or maybe you've set it at, I want to review that setting each and every time I upload a video. Now, I recommend this only because some videos are going to be under 18 friendly, like community videos that you're going to make, or certain events that may be happening that are child friendly. There are other videos that aren't child friendly and that are 18 and older, like, geez, what does it take to get your bank account set for buying, right? Or, geez, 5 no-nos not to do, or that you should not do when you're in escrow, right? Things like that, that are only adults will need to watch. Keep that flexible for yourself. Featured eligibility, default features you want enabled because you want access to all the features. And of course, features that require phone verification, videos over 15 minutes, you can enable that if you want. I don't think you should, but that's fine. Now, underneath the channel, you also have upload defaults, certain things that you want to set default wise. Number 1, under the basic info, a title to your videos. Now, obviously, your videos you want to be able to customize, but what you probably want as a default, so you don't have to type it over and over again, is maybe the breed group presents. So instead of me having to type the breed group presents for each and every video, all I now need to do anytime I upload a video is add in the title of what that video is going to be about. Underneath that, the description. Here, we're going to have maybe a basic description on what our videos our basic description. Now, the description of the video, of the particular video, we're going to always do, but maybe we're going to add in other things or things that are automatically going to be defaulted here, like the breed group presents, and then colon, leave a little space, some room, and then maybe we come down below here and say, for more information, and if I can spell, or showings, please call me or email me at, and then 949-586-6800 extension 104, or email tony@ocrealtors.org. Oh, and by the way, first point of contact, even in our description, Anthony Breed, Jack and Jill, RE, our real estate, DRE number, and then so on and so forth. Things that I don't want to have to keep typing in each and every time for each and every video. Here, I've got it as a default so that this will always be for every video I post. And again, you have up to 5,000 characters to describe your video. So leave yourself some room to describe any particular video you do upload. Now, some other basic defaults here. Every video you're going to publish or post should automatically go to the public. 2.4 billion people worldwide should be able to find my videos. Okay. There are some videos that we can pick and choose whether the public should see or not, right? But for the most part, most of my videos, 90% of them are all going to be to the public. Now, like with my channel, under the upload defaults, I can also have tag words or phrases as well for each and every one of my videos. So what am I going to put here? I have up to 500 words that I can have as taglines. Again, leave yourself some room to add in custom taglines for the particular video to be found. But for the most part, all the various different spellings of my name, the counties that I work in, real estate, training, technology, whatever I need for my videos to generally be found. Not just one video, but all the videos. The advanced settings you don't need to worry about here. Basically, what category of videos do you upload? Unfortunately, there is no category for real estate. So what kind of videos do you typically send out? Or will you do? How to, educational, people and blogs. I think most of your videos are all about education. You're educating the public. Okay. From here, once you are modifying your channel and your upload defaults, hit save. Once you hit save, you are now ready to upload a video. Are there any questions on setting up your channel? And it looks pretty simple, right? So now, how do we upload a video to the channel? Well, we've got two things that we can do here. Here on the computer, what I can do to upload a video to my channel is very simply go to YouTube, go to where my channel, okay, where I'm at this screen here. And now what for me to upload a video, maybe I create one, maybe I go to my movie maker or iMovie or WeVideo, and I put together my video, whether it's for a listing or what have you. Okay. Once I've made that video, now what I'm going to do here for my YouTube channel is I'm now going to move my mouse over to the top right corner where this camera icon is that's got the plus sign in it. And if you'll notice here, if I hover my mouse over top of it, it says create. When I click on it, I can now either upload a video that I've made or I can go live. Now, funny enough, YouTube had YouTube Live before Facebook Live, a whole year and a half. Unfortunately, YouTube and Google are the worst advertisers of any and all their products compared to Facebook. So Facebook Live has more recognition than YouTube Live. And YouTube Live was out a whole year and a half before. But very simply, I can either record a live video right now on my camera, or I can go and upload a video. If I choose upload a video, then what I can now do is I can now browse my computer for a video I've made. And now all I need to do here is simply find the video on my computer, click and hold with my mouse, drag it over top of this window here where it says select files, and let go. Now the video is being uploaded. Now at this point, I'm going to follow an easy 1, 2, 3, 4 step process. Step number 1, under the details, I'm now going to title the video. So maybe in this case, but if you'll notice here, certain information is already typed here. Why? Because of our setting defaults. So now all I need to do is type in, let's go with virtual tour of 123 Main Street, Irvine, California. Now under the description, Today's virtual tour is of newly listed at 123 Main Street in Irvine, California. This lovely 3-bed, 2.5 bath home at the end of the cul-de-sac. Boasts a plethora of amenities you will love. And blah, 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 blah. Right? So here we can write our full description. Now, under the details, we can also select an image to be prominent. Now, there are GIF images and things like that I could use that video and upload my own custom image. But in the video itself, I'm going to make sure that I have my screenshots of my company, my first point of contact information for people to easily identify either at the beginning and or at the end, how to get in touch with me about this property. Okay. Now from here, under the audience, is it made for kids under the age of 18 or no, it's not? Here I can simply select no, it's not. It's for the people who are able to buy a home. Right now, children under the age of 18 cannot buy a property, right? Not without parent consent. Down below under show more. Now I'm going to add in my extra tag words to have this video found. So maybe newly listed home at 123 Main Street, right? Hit tab. And maybe I type in another keyword, newly listed in Irvine, California. What I'm now going to do is I'm going to eat up the rest of these 500 word characters and type in any and all possibility ways of being able to find this home. Like, geez, people who are looking for in a Google search or a YouTube search, 3-bed, 2.5 bath home, cul-de-sac. Sac property. And then of course, what other fun stuff, right? So if anybody is on YouTube and they type in any of my word combinations, my video will always be at the top of their list or near the top of their list. Okay. Now, once I'm done with the details, I go next. Here we can add in subtitles if we wanted to. So here we can manually type in or auto sync or upload a file if you wanted to. Okay, which is kind of nice. Here under the checks, if we go next here, it immediately checks to see if I'm copyright infringing. So it listens for any music I may be using. And if I'm using copyrighted music, it's going to flag it. So don't use any copyrighted material. And next, under visibility, here we can say right now, everybody will see this video to the world, the public, or maybe I don't want everybody to see this, but only a select few that I share this video with. So I'm going to make it unlisted. That means that it can't be found by anybody else in the world. But I have the right to share this link for people who I've shared that link with to view this video. Or I can make this video totally private. So not even the people that subscribe to my channel can see this video. Now, there's also another cool thing here, a schedule. Now, schedule is great for consistency. There are times, and you'll hear this in the second class, where I recommend how often you should do videos. But there are times maybe you're going on vacation and you won't be able to make that schedule of the video or to go out on that set date and time. Well, what we could do instead is that maybe before I go on vacation, I make 2 or 3 videos together, right? But now what I can do is I can now schedule when, at what date, at what time this video is to be able to be found by the public. So now when I hit schedule, that video goes out on this date at that time. Whereas if I go to where it says public or unlisted or private, and I hit published, that video is immediately to be set up. In this case, if I were to hit public and I now hit publish, that video now goes out to everybody immediately and can be seen and can be shared and can be viewed. And again, given this link, I can now copy, paste it, post it, market it, do whatever I need to with this video. Now, what happens here at this point? From the video standpoint, whoops, real quickly. We want to track the analytics, how well this video is doing. Now, how do we do that? Is very simply back under our channel. And this time, when I go to my channel, whoops, let me go back. This time, when I go back, and let's just do this again, your channel. This time I'm going to click on manage videos. When I click on manage videos, here under my channel, we get to see the dashboard. Here under the dashboard, we get to see how many subscribers we have. So now we can promote people to subscribe to our channel so that any subscriber will automatically be notified by Google Chrome or in their Gmail account that I've uploaded a brand new video. Okay. Here I get to see some rankings, like 7 out of 10 of my videos have been recently viewed. Get to see some quick analytics, but realistically, we can look at the analytics of the videos and see how many new subscribers in the past 28 days, how many views on my videos, how long people are watching my videos, which videos are doing really well, how many views, average watch time, which video is being watched the most, which now all of a sudden starts getting me to do different things or monitoring different things. I get to see the type of reach I have. So I see here that under the traffic source that 37% of people are looking for me. 25% are suggested videos. So people are watching videos that are very similar to mine, and YouTube is suggesting that they watch my videos. 22% are found outside of YouTube, meaning they're doing a Google search on me and doing a Google search finding my videos. Direct or unknown, they actually are looking for that specific video directly, and of course, by other means. Also, we've got how many impressions, 13,000 impressions, 51.4% of YouTube has recommended my content to people, okay, which is kind of cool. Here are the external sources. 67% was a Google search, 4.1% was a YouTube search. Zipformsplus.com recommended my videos, things like that. Traffic sources, making sense of templates and zip forms was one source of my video traffic. I don't even have a video made like that, but from this video, my videos are now being referenced, which is really neat. Engagement, again, more analytics. People are engaging. The audience, 51 people are coming back constantly. I got 15 new subscribers in the past 28 days, 880 unique viewers, but didn't subscribe to my channel or watching my videos. Here, 79.1% of my videos are watched in the United States, 0.9% are watched in India. And of course, let's see who else is watching them. And then everywhere else outside of those two countries. So my videos are even being watched in other countries, which are kind of cool. And this will happen for you as well. Okay. So analytics are really, really neat to be able to monitor your content. Are there any questions on this? Larry, Kate, anybody? Eugene? My question is about something else, Tony. Can I ask? Sure, Kate, what is your question? Is it pertaining to social media? I need about editing a PDF file. You would use a PDF editor of some sort. If you're trying to edit a PDF, let's see. Would you please let me know for iMac? I would say Pages does have a very simplified PDF editor. So you can open up a PDF document in Pages on a Mac. Or if you're still a Microsoft user, still using Mac, if you're using Office 360, which is all the current versions of Word, Excel, and PowerPoint that you can, again, use on a Macintosh computer. Word, I want to say 2016, which is the current version, I think, of Microsoft Word, does have a PDF editor built into it. So you don't have to worry about external PDF files or external PDF editors. Does that help, Kate? Oh, you're welcome. Now, I will also say that if you're using Google Chrome, I think, what is it? I want to say, I think it is Docs. Does have a PDF editor as well. So nowadays, it's not hard to manipulate or layer things on top of a current PDF file and then save it as a new PDF document. You don't have to spend, $400 for Adobe Acrobat to use their PDF editors. Pages is free because it comes with Mac. Office 360 is about a $99 per year fee from Microsoft. And then, of course, yes, Docs is free if you're a Google user. So if you have Gmail, then yes, all the stuff that you see here from Google is free. They do have paid levels, but yes. Let's see here. For the format of Facebook page, can you write? Not sure exactly what you're asking there, Kate. Name, nickname. Oh, you're talking about uploading a PDF file to, say, Facebook? Yeah, you could do that. It'll put a link for a person to click on to view the PDF document. They can then download it if they want to. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I would do that. If you're known by a nickname, I would put that in quotation marks. As long as whatever you're doing has your legal name on it, whether it's a post, your business page, even in your video, hi, this is Tony or Tech Tony, and then have a screenshot of that information, either beginning and end or both, then I would do that. Is that okay at the end? Of course it's okay at the end. As long as your first point of contact is somewhere in the video, you're okay. I usually like to begin it and end it with both. Even when you upload that video, you've got a chance here when you upload a video. And let me bring up my channel, manage videos. When you're editing that or uploading that video, there's a shot here that you can upload a custom thumbnail. I would definitely put in your first point of contact shot here. So that way, or something that grabs the eye. I would say something that grabs the eye, maybe you use some sort of picture editor to make that property stand out or to make that video stand out. And then maybe in the first couple of opening shots, when they played the video, it's got your information there. And then near the end, it's got your information. And that's part of the content. You never want your videos to fade to black because you don't want people to forget, right? So you want to end the video with some sort of call to action and your data so that people remember it. Does that help? And you'll hear me talk about that in our second class today. Good. Are there any other questions? Now I will say, has anybody done a video yet? Because I know everybody's hang up on video is, I don't like the way I look on camera. I don't like the way I look. I don't like the way I sound. Well, guess what? Do you not show properties to a client just because of the way you look or the way you sound? No, right? So in a way, think of that camera as a client. Do you just not show property just because of that? No, you do show property, because if you don't show property, you can't end up getting paid. Well, think of video the same way. This is how people see you today. This is how people hear you today. And it does take practice. But one video I definitely recommend everybody try is take your phone and record yourself and just introduce who you are. Hi, my name is Anthony of Jack and Jill Real Estate. Just want to introduce myself and do a quick 30 seconds to a minute long. You don't have to worry about high edits or anything like that. But at least hold your camera up, talk to the camera, and then post it. What are my thoughts on focusing on YouTube Shorts and TikTok? Number one, I don't like TikTok only because of certain data collection. Number two, TikTok, I think the kids are putting up too many inappropriate videos up there, and there's not that much monitoring on it. But I mean, it's fine. You could do short videos. I think short videos, no matter what, whether it's YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, whatever, are all important. Your videos should be no longer, depending on the video, 3 to 4 minutes, especially. And that really also depends on the topic. If it's a quick introduction, if it's an introductory video, about a minute. If it's a client testimonial, 30 seconds. If it's a market update, maybe you're talking about 4 to 5 minutes. Okay. Talking about the market. The idea behind video is you want to give them just bursts of information that's informative to keep them on the hook. Is it okay to keep videos on YouTube, or should we remove them after some time? I think it depends on the video. I'll give you a perfect example. Everybody's familiar with zip forms, correct? Or at least have heard of zip forms. Well, one of my very first videos that I uploaded is on zip forms. And even though it's about 3 to 5 years old, zip forms technically has changed in those 3 to 5 years. And for some strange reason, I have more than 30,000 views on this one video, and it keeps growing each and every day. So even though some of the content and some of the screenshots and some of the tools have changed in these 3 to 5 years, I still do updates to zip forms, but I have yet to get as many hits or views on those that I have here. And it just keeps growing. I still have yet to figure out why. So I leave it up. Now, some videos you'll leave up forever, like maybe the top 2 or 3 things you as a buyer need to do in order to prep yourself for buying a home. Things like that may not change, but maybe, and of course, maybe some of your listing videos that you do will not change, right? Because you listed the property you want to show in your, what is it? Your marketing skills, right? You promoted that property. You use it in your listing presentations, this, that, and the other. You want to show people what you did to list that home. Now, maybe you take it down and make it from public to unlisted at some point. But for the most part, any educational video that you do, like a how-to, you're probably going to leave up there. Well, while it continues to get hits, but maybe you do updates to it. Does that help, Kate? Some you may take down because they're no longer relevant, like timepiece videos, like, hey, we're here at the 4th of July celebration at Lake Mission Viejo, you know, and you put in, you say dates and times and things. Maybe those you take down periodically. But for the most part, I don't see you taking down videos. It shows content. It shows growing content. Are there any other questions? Well, if there are no other questions, I want to thank everybody for coming in today and letting me teach you a class. Thank you very much. Oh, thank you very much, Kate. Really appreciate it. If you guys have any questions or any concerns, thank you. Please feel free to either call me or email me. My phone number is 949-586-6800, extension 104, or feel free to email me at Tony, Tony at ocrealtors.org. And with that said, I want to thank everybody for attending today. Hope you guys have a great day. And if you're here for this afternoon where we're going over content and consistency, I look forward to seeing you then. Other than that, have a great and wonderful day and have fun setting up your social media.